Hello teachers, today I will talk about the dashboard on Facebook and Twitter data. First, we come to the data of Facebook and Twitter. Let's look at the two bar charts at the top. On the left, our Facebook team charts visually highlight the retention tower over the other categories in terms of total reach and engaged user. On the right, our Twitter team charts show the much flatter, more even distribution. The orange bars represent the impression, showing that's why our thrift is messy and balanced across all teams on Twitter. The actual user engagement represented by the gray bar, remained quite small. Next, let's draw our attention to line charts at the bottom, which show our quarterly trend to 2019 and 2020. If you compare the trend line for both Facebook on the left and Twitter on the right, they tell a very similar story. Both platforms started experiencing a steady climb by performance starting in Q4 of 2019 which led a massive peak in Q2 and 2020. For the instant, Facebook reached a peak to over 1.5 million and Twitter impression soared over 3.1 million. However, look at the sharp down cliff on the Q3 of 2020. Both channels suffer at a dramatic drop-off, which correctly perfectly with the sudden decrease in our posting volume during at the quarter. Let's come to the chart. The first row shows performance by team. If you look at the bar charts, you can immediately compare how different topics are shown based on each platform. On the left, Facebook bar charts clearly show the recension in our standout performance for driving engaged user. On the right, Twitter charts show much more evenly distributed performance to the CSR and new slightly lead in overall impression. The second row on the quarter trend. Here we have a line chart mapping our process from the Q2 in 1990 through the Q3 on 2020. What is a fascinating dashboard platform show an almost identical trajectory. We can see the steady claims starting in late 2019 leading to the massive peak in Q2 of 2020. However, this immediately followed a sharp down trend in Q3 in 2020. Next, we come to the dashboard. First, let's look at the top level KPI on the screen. For the Facebook, we published 725 bots during this period, generating over 3.3 million in the total reach and capturing more than 183,000 engaged users. Our engagement rate on Facebook was highly dynamic, peaked at an impressive 7.2% for the customer retention content. In the contrast, Twitter serves as our high volume engagement. We posted over the 2,300 tweets, more than three times on Facebook volume. The research in Massey is 14.5 million impressions and over 246,000 engagement. However, the average engagement rate here is much lower and highly splitted at around 1.3% across a category. And the last is the conclusion. Platform specific strength. Twitter is the portrait channel with 3.2 more posts than Facebook's. Twitter generates massive visibility. However, the audience in the passive is using a very low engagement rate of 1.3%. The role of high quality in interaction, posting the exceptional engagement user ranging from 2.7 to 7.2%. Content the theme inside. Recension in King of Fable. The recension theme achieved the highest engagement rate and the longest reach. The CSR anomaly, while the CSR performance was on Facebook, with actually the highest performance theme on Twitter. Post style offensive photos the volume driver, generating over 2.3 million reach and save 97K engaged user. Video despite low posting frequency through the highly efficient public and nearly rich with strong engagement. Quality trend analyzing. Both platforms experienced a massive identical performance peak in Q2 2020. However, both channels suffered a service crash in Q2 2020, largely driven by the sharp decline posting frequency, resulting in a lost audience monument. And thank you to listen our presentation.